Be vigilant. Look on your picnic, boy and girl. Have just been arrested and charged with a very serious and heinous crime. We have always turned a deaf ear and a blind eye to these kind of allegations within our society. On today's podcast, we will be discussing the implication and the effect, as well as some of the signs that you can look for in your children if you think that they have been essayed or, right? So, welcome to the vault. Our first episode will be around how we can protect our children, providing safeguard and providing a safe space so that they feel safe to come to us, and as well as we are equipped with the tools and what to look for in cases like this. I have never personally experienced anything like that, but I have known too many persons, close friends or family members, who have been in similar situations. Now, we hope and we pray that our children will never be exposed to something like this. But if they are, what are some of the signs that we as parents need to look for? Now, as I said in the opening, recently this week, one of our most influential influencer on this island has been arrested and charged for this heinous crime. Welcome to the vault. What are some of the signs of sexual assault or SA? We're just going to say SA going forward. What are some of the signs that you can look for? This podcast is all about educating, informing, and relearning things. So I don't have all the answers. I am not a professional, but I have done my research on the topic, and I just wanted to share what I have learned so that we can be equipped to deal with the situation if it should arise, or if we see somebody who is in need. Because that is the goal, that is the aim, for us to inform, to educate, and build a sustainable future for our children. Now, the vault is a safe space. I want you to sound off in the comment section, give your feedback, answer questions, as well as provide information. Now, let's begin. So, what are some of the signs of that we can look for in our children if we assume or we have some kind of inkling that there is something wrong? I understand that this topic can be very hard to discuss, and a lot of time children are not forthcoming with information because they are either they have been threatened by the individual who carried out this act, or they feel nervous in disclosing their attacker, but for whatever reason, their attacker might use gifts and stuff to bribe them. So they are fearful that if they talk, they will no longer get stuff, or people might believe that they are into it because they were collecting things from their attacker. And I'm using the words attacker because that is how I see somebody who prey on children. Now, what are some of the reasons why? Those are some of the reasons why I think that children don't speak up, as well as sometimes the parent don't provide a safe space. Parent or parents don't provide a safe space for them to come forward and speak up. A lot of times also we notice that our children see that we're in a vulnerable situation and they are afraid to speak up because they are worried about the ramification that it might have on the family dynamic. Now, as we are going to talk about creating a safe space for our children so that they feel comfortable in talking to us, I believe first and foremost, you must build a bond with your babies. Build a bond with your children. No matter how old they get, find something, find common interest and build a bond with your children so that they feel comfortable in coming to you and speaking to you, mommy, daddy, this is what is happening. And, even if they do not come outright and say it, but then they will give you signs so that you can prick them and ask them questions. Now, that is one of the things that I believe that is paramount when it comes to dealing with anything at all. Providing a safe space for our children, providing a space where our children feel welcome, safe, and secure so that they know that regardless of what's going to happen, mommy, daddy is going to be there 10 toes deep and we're going to work on this together. And I can go to my parents regardless of anything. I've always said this to my son, no matter what happened, tell your mother. Tell your mother. Your mother have you at all times. Tell your mother what is happening. Now, I am gonna say I have always try to ensure that we have this bond, this relationship as he grows and things are changing in his life and he's now a teenager and I am experiencing a whole other aspect of who he is. But I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to unlearn some behavior, some patterns that I used to treat him as a child and he's now a teen. So I understand that I have to change how I react to him. So that's one of the things that we're going to touch on tonight. Another aspect is that aside from creating a safe space, it is okay to speak to your children age appropriate questions. Ask age appropriate questions. Tell them what areas are off limits and what areas are safe. No, I don't think at any age it is too young to start telling your children their body parts, using the correct terms, of course. We're not gonna say pee pee, we're not gonna say punani, we're not say chocho. We're gonna use the correct terms so that the children know exactly where they are and their correct names. So that's two. So one is providing a safe space for our babies so that they feel comfortable in coming to you regardless of what is happening. And two, we're gonna speak to them. Speak to them more. Talk to them. Ask them questions. Ask them questions. Give them advice. Tell them it's okay to open up to me. You can talk to me, baby. And stuff like that. So some questions that you're supposed to be asking is when you leave them in the care of somebody else, ask them questions like, did anything happen when I'm away? Do not ask leading questions like you're leading them to say that this is what happened, because a lot of times children will lead down that path because they feel like that is what you want to hear. And in an attempt, they overcompensate and they just basically just go down where you want to. But that's not what we are here to do. We are here to ask questions. Is everything okay with you? Did everything go all right? What did you have? What did you do? Who was there? Stuff like that. And then you can get a feel of if there is anything, if there is any area that you need to dig a little deeper. All right. So, for instance, if my child should spend the night at somebody's house, I am not a parent that allow my child to sleep out, but if he has a sleepover, if any one of them have a sleepover, I believe that first and foremost, when he gets home, the next question should be, how was your sleepover? What happened? Who was there? Was Mark's mom and dad there? What were you doing all night? Did anybody came that was not invited? Was all your friends there? Stuff like that. Right? So we kind of like build an area of trust, build a relationship. We talked about building a relationship before, but that is essential. And then we are now speaking about the importance of talking about what, be inquisitive, asking questions. So that is where we're at now. Another aspect that we should be looking at when it comes to children, especially children under age, is if they know things, sexual things, right? If they know things that they have no business knowing, you need to find out what. If they are too exposed, if they're saying things that you're not exposing them to, You need to find out how they got exposed to that, who is exposing them to that, and stuff like that, right? So these are some of the signs that we need to check for parents. Be vigilant. Be vigilant. Look on your picnic, boy and girl. Do not just say, oh, I saw be a boy I have, so whatever. Boys and girls. Boys are also vulnerable in situations like this. Be vigilant. Do not take for granted that anything at all can happen at any time at all. Parents, there's too much of this happening. There's too much of this happening, and we need to take action, and we need to stop turning a blind eye to things like this. We have in our society a lot of time the mothers choose their man over their children. The man is abusing the children or the child, and the mother refused to believe because she loves man. You love man too much. Little I love man and not your child, right? So those are some of the two things that we need to talk about. One, building the relationship with the child, the foundation. Two, be inquisitive, inquire about what is happening in your child's life daily and who they are around and who they're interacting with. Three, are they too exposed? Are they knowing a little bit too much about things that they have no business knowing about? You need to know how they know about that, who teach them, who show them, and things like that. No, last year, I believe it was last year, when this young man who they said always I come to this little girl and I give her sweetie and I give her things and I show a special interest in this child, and it so happened that he hurt this child. Parents, if somebody out of the blue is showing special interest in your child, why, sir? What are you doing here? How you reach over, yes, so all up in a picnic like this. These are questions that you need to ask. You can't just allow strangers or family members or whosoever to be, grooming your child and you are doing nothing about it. These are things that are affecting us because we are too laid back as parents. And I understand that the dynamic now, the family dynamic is a lot different because we have a lot more single parent than we would like. But we need to put our foot down and take. Another thing that we should notice is when children are avoiding physical contact, they're usually reluctant to hugs and kisses. And in our culture, I know that we like to say, "Oh, that's an auntie so and so. We give him an hug. That's uncle. We give him an hug." No, do not force your children to do that. If you are seeing your children showing a sign of reluctance, or they don't tell this child that that's your uncle, that's auntie, go give auntie a hug, go give uncle a hug. No. The child is afraid of that person. The child is setting boundaries. You, as a parent, you need to look at that. Not that they must be doing something wrong, but obviously the child feels uncomfortable around Uncle Jim or Auntie Mary or Auntie Sue, right? So we as parents, we need to look at that and just, understand that that's their boundary. Do not give my child a hug. Do not give my child a kiss. He or she is not comfortable with that. And I, the parent, is gonna ensure that that boundary stands. That is one of the social signs, right? And as well as we spoke about things like not wanting to go to school, so being absent from school, those are social signs. Other signs are like psychological signs or emotional signs, where we talk about children who are depressed. And yes, children can get depressed too. I know they're not paying any bills. We know they don't have no bills to pay, they don't have credit card debt, they don't have no loan, they don't have no school fee, tuition, none of that. They don't have to worry about that. But yes, children can become depressed, and it is our job to look for the sadness, the mood swings, which might include a lot of loss of interest in normal activities. We spoke about that a little bit earlier, as well as their loss of appetite, lethargic, sleepy, stuff like that. Let us look out for that and be proactive. They might be anxious, might be a little bit too anxious. When somebody touch them, they might jump or, stuff like that. That's a sign of PTSD. That means that somebody has hurt this child, so you need to look forward to that. If they are all of a sudden retrieving when they are afraid to go to the bathroom, or afraid of being alone, afraid of the dark, stuff like that, you have to look forward to that. Regression in behavior. behavioral pattern. Like there's a child that used to meet all his or her milestone, and then all of a sudden, these are for like smaller children, and then all of a sudden they're no longer meeting their milestone. Obviously, something has happened and it has caused them to retract. So regression. So look out for that, like bedwetting, thumb sucking, fear of the dark again. Those are some of the signs. Clinginess. If this child all of a sudden don't, mommy, I can't go without you. I don't want to go without you. Daddy, please hold my hand. I don't want to be alone with him or her. Those are signs that you're supposed to look forward to. You're supposed to look for. Why I keep saying forward to? Those are signs that you're supposed to look for. Those are signs of essay. Or so so fear of persons or places and refusing to stay at a specific location. We talk about that. I understand that this topic is not something that a lot of us feel comfortable discussing, right? So let's just get that out of the way. A lot of us are not comfortable discussing these topics because we are afraid ourselves, because of the stigma that comes with this. So if you have somebody like this in your family, people are gonna look on your strength, people are gonna talk about it. But this is the reason why we need to discuss it openly, so we understand that though there's a stigma around it, if we speak about it, if we talk about it, then the victims can feel safe, and the victims can now share their story and talk about what happened to them, so that they can get the help that they need. Because parents parents, I know that a lot of my subscribers are my age. Parents, aunties, uncles, let us bring awareness to things like this. Let us create safe spaces so our babies feel comfortable to come to us, so that we can deal with the problems right now. So that they don't have to grow up to become adults and walking around with these baggages because it was not dealt with when they were children. No, we're gonna leave it here for tonight, and I hope to see you next week at 7 p.m. for the next episode of The Vault. And I know that this might not be the topic that you were hoping to get tonight, but it is heavy on my heart, and it's something that we must discuss because, as I said, we must bring awareness. We cannot just have fun, giggle all the time, and we're not educating each other, we're not unlearning certain patterns, we're not looking to uplift and drive and provide a system of support. And that is the reason why I wanted to start my own podcast. So this is Vanessa Williams Moore again for The Vault. I hope that I see you next week, and stay safe, stay blessed. God bless you all. Walk good and hug and kiss your babies before they go to bed tonight, and tell them how much you love them. And again, let us create a safe space for them. Let us create an environment where they feel welcome, where they feel loved and cherished. Until next time, God bless y'all. Walk good. Bye.